Hey you guys, I am here with my first installment of my reverse dieting series. Now, so many of you guys have told me that you are almost more excited to hear about my reverse diet than you are about my prep, which is so awesome because I'm so excited to share it with you. So I have a new setting here, not my kitchen. I hope this would feel a little more homey. That's why I'm in my sweats. Look at my shirt. Do you guys get it? That weekend was intense. Do you get it? Do you get it? Dad joke. Okay, so let's talk about my reverse diet. First of all, reverse diets, typically you guys are so hard. Every competitor knows, or even if you just, usually competitors, they know that the reverse diet, it's usually harder than the prep. Because in the prep you have the excitement, you're seeing daily and weekly changes, you're getting leaner, you're getting comments from people, you have all the show stuff going on and it's so much fun, and then the show's over and through your reverse diet you're putting on body fat. And while we all know it has to happen, doesn't make it easy, okay? And also you have to stick pretty darn close to your macros. You have to be consistent, otherwise you're gonna gain body fat too quickly, which is gonna limit how high you can get your calories, okay? So, it's hard, and you don't have that show on the radar or something that's coming up where you need to be like looking good for it, so it's so easy to justify things. You can have more food flexibility, which is awesome, but it's hard not to get too flexible where you're constantly trying to work in treats, okay? So let's go back through the numbers here. I am doing also, maybe by the time this goes up, I will have already done it, my prep in the numbers. I'm gonna show you all of my macros and cardio and what we did through the prep, okay? So, but right now we're gonna be starting with my numbers right before my last show, okay? So I've got it on a piece of paper here, so I didn't forget. So, my macros right before North Americans were, I had 4 low days, and then 1 high day, so that 5-day cycle I repeated over and over again. My low days were 30 grams of fat, 130 grams of carbs, and 140 grams of protein, okay? My high days were 30 grams of fat, 220 grams of carbs, 140 protein, all right? My cardio was 50 minutes, 6 days a week, consisted of 16 minutes of HIIT and 14 minutes of steady state, fasted first thing in the morning, and then I worked out later in the day and did 20 minutes of cardio after my lift, okay? So during that time, that's what they were probably for 2 weeks or so before peak week. Throughout that time, I was maintaining, I was kind of holding 124 to 126 pounds, okay? Through peak week, I was hitting 120. I hit 122 pounds for a few days during peak week, and my show weight, my stage weight was 118. When I talk about like how many pounds over stage weight or over peak week weight, I'm actually going to compare to the 122 because that's what I was at my other shows, and that's what I was up until like right before I left for the show. It was just those last few days of pulling water that I was 118, okay? So that's where I was into the show, all right? Post-show, what I did was I had my big post-show meal, which is so fun. Lots of treats that day. The next day after the show, which was a Thursday, it was a Wednesday show. That Thursday I traveled home. I did not track my macros. I tried to keep most things healthy. I did come home and have some desserts with my family, okay? Then back on Friday, I was back on tracking my macros, and I went back to these numbers. I did 3 low days, and then we moved to day 1 of my reverse diet, okay? So that's where we're at. Week 1, reverse diet, my numbers. What we did was we added, on my low day, we added 5 grams of fat and 5 grams of carbs. So that's not much, guys. It's like 65 calories or so. Wait, 20, yeah, about 65 calories. We also changed my ratio, so I'm doing 3 low days to 1 high day. So that adds in some overall calories for the week right there. And then my cardio, where it was at 50 minutes 6 days a week, now it's at 50 minutes 3 days a week, and 30 minutes 3 days a week. So what we did was we cut that 20 minutes post-workout steady state, we cut that out of 3 days of the week, okay? So that was my week 1. when I finished week 1, my average weight, I'm going by averages, was 124.6. So up about 2 pounds from where I'm comparing to, okay, up 2 pounds. That week was rough, guys. I'm not gonna lie, like every single day was a struggle. Like struggle bus central. It was like I was constantly thinking about food. I did pretty good sticking to my macros. I mean, I was kind of like hit the top allowance. Like I was at like 5 grams of carbs and protein over and like 3 or 4 grams of fat over, but I still consider that on track. And until, let's see, till the next Friday, when that evening, I had a screw it moment, you guys. I was like, you know what? I'm watching all my friends like have all these cheats the week after the show, and I know inside that I did not want to do that. And I shouldn't say all my friends. I have people that I like, social media people. Yes, some of my friends, whatever, like that just have more cheat meals post show, and I didn't. And I was like, so all these factors were coming into play here with my screw it moment with the chocolate chips and peanut butter. It was like, my willpower is tired. I haven't had a cheat meal for a week, which sounds like so long, but like post show, a lot of people are having them more often, which is not a good idea. I'm just saying, I've been so good all week, you know. I had like 3 treats delivered in the mail that day. I had some JoJo's chocolate. I had some Lily's stevia sweetened chocolate chips delivered, and maybe those were the only 2. But those came, and the Lily's chocolate chips, you guys, they're stevia sweetened, they're so yummy. They were kind of melted because it's hot out, and so I was just like, I just gotta open it and have like the melty ones, you know? I just need to have like the chunks. That's what started it. And then I was like, I just need to dip it in some peanut butter. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And then I was like, you know what? I wanna have this. I need to gain weight anyway, right? I'm too skinny. I need to put some meat on these bones, and I want to do it through chocolate chips and peanut butter, for crying out loud. That's what I was thinking in my head. And then in the past, whenever I've had like little cheat moments like that, I've like tried to be secretive, you know, and that's never a good idea. And so I told my husband. He was sitting right there in this chair. My kitchen's right over there. And I was like, honey, I'm just having like a screw up moment with the chocolate chips and peanut butter. And he laughed. He was like, you are? And I was like, yeah, I just want to have some. He was like, I want some. And so he came over and we had some together. And then I got out the cocoa bar in a jar and had some chocolate chips and some peanut butter with the cocoa bar in a jar. And he had some. And it was like such a special moment for us. And I was like, that was so good. And I probably had, I wouldn't say I had the whole jar of peanut butter or the whole bag of M&M or chocolate chips by any means, but I probably, if I were to guess, I probably had 500 calories worth of peanut butter and cocoa bar in a jar, and probably like 200 or 300 calories of chocolate chips. Like, it was substantial. I wouldn't say it was a binge. The reason why I'm not saying it was a binge, because I used to have like issues with some binging. It was not frantic. It was not, oh my gosh, how much can I eat? Or I'm just eating all this stuff and I don't even care. No, it was thought out. I was like, I want to have this, and it was stupidly justified. Like, but I did think about it. You know, it was not in secret. And when that little episode with it was over, I was done. So that's why I don't really feel guilty. I just feel like, oh, I was also PMSing. Boom, right there. Also PMSing. So anyways, I don't feel guilty, but it happened. My weight was up 2 pounds afterwards. That was a Friday. It stayed up. Sundays, Mondays, my weight's always up because I take the day off on Sunday, and so my weight just goes up, which I know it's always been like that for years, for as long as I've known, like been tracking. So I wasn't worried about that, but it just kind of stayed high, and it's only just now starting to come back down. So anyways, week 2, I texted my coach Friday night. I told her about the chocolate chips. You always have to be honest if you have a coach, otherwise what's the point, right? And she was like, it's okay, you're human, this is not normal behavior for you. And I was like, no, it's not. So she was like, start your low days tomorrow, which was Saturday, and then I did a check-in on Sunday. So with that check-in, I'm gonna see if I can like put some video right here, photos of my check-ins so you guys can see. That average weight for that last week was 125.3. So up about about 3/4 of a pound, about 3 pounds up or 2.5 pounds up from my 122 that I'm going off of, okay? Macros, we added 10 grams of carbs to both days. So macros now are at 35 grams of fat, 145 grams carbs, 140 grams protein on my low days. High day is 30 grams of carbs, 30 grams of fat, 230 carb, and 140 protein. Still 3 low day to 1 high day. Same cardio, 50 minutes 3 days a week, 30 minutes 3 days a week. So you may ask, why am I carb cycling when I'm not trying to lose fat? So it's just my coach's strategy. It's just kind of what she does. I think it's a way to kind of have some days of higher carbs, which is great for your hormone levels and for your muscle fullness and recovery and things like that, while keeping most of your days at more of a